What is going on, everybody? It's your boy, Lee the Warlord. And as you can see, we are going over the Season 6 patch notes. Season 6, pretty spicy drop. When I say spicy, I don't mean there's a lot of hot stuff. I mean a lot of people are hot about it. So let's see what they're giving us. The new Raider baby arrives. Two of the same survivor skin, essentially, with Launch. She has the blue hair and then the blonde hair. You use Launch Blue Hair's passive Sneeze to revive fallen allies faster than usual. So my question about this is, will this stack with first aid, or is it more of like an instant res type of situation? And the animation that plays after it, I'm wondering if you can roll out of that or if you're just stuck in that the whole time. And I also want to see how that works for when you put it on a survivor skin that is either not her or that's just you. Like, I wonder if it just, does the same animation or if they just get up. I'm interested to see. Something I think that should have just been a mechanic in the game. They got away with duping us with midair jump, but this is disgusting. They're making us get this as like a separate passive. But with Launch Blonde Hair's passive skill, Expert Driver Item Recovery, you'll be able to pick up items, open item boxes, and use vending machines while riding a vehicle. So you don't have to get off the vehicle. The number one reason I don't like using vehicles is because you have to get off of them to interact with everything. So this fixes that problem. And this is also going to work in tandem with vehicle speed boost. So if you thought Jocko's ship was going anywhere in Season 6, you are sorely mistaken. As a matter of fact, we might see like a Jocko ship Dragon Fist combo escape. So anyway, this is what I was saying. So these are two different survivor skins here, but it's still the same survivor skin. Anyway, down here, this is where it's really disgusting. They're giving us Bulla, which is just a reskin of Bulma, literally down to the abilities. So she has Capsule Bike, which is no longer a viable ability in Breakers, and Charming Pose. There's not much to say here. It's just another Bulma skin, essentially. Then something I think is cool here, we've added a favorites feature to the list of skills located in battle settings. So you can go ahead and favorite skills that you know you're going to use no matter what, and they will always pop up at the top of the list no matter what you sort the ID by. So something I think is very good here. Something I think the game, I think this was a waste of time for them to be developing this over something else. That's how I'm going to say it. It's a new leaderboard feature, so I'm thinking for starting in August, not the leaderboard starting for the way we performed in Season 5. It'll be starting in August. That's what I'm thinking. And it's just based off of how many points you get and essentially the rank that you have. New leaderboard will be placed next to the news board at the base after rank match begins, which is in August. Players who earn the most rank points will be displayed on the leaderboard. Apart from rank points, special ranking events will be held tied to actions taken in a match. So this is going to be more of an incentive to play. Like with Baby in the live stream, they had a portion where they showed infect up to 10 people over the course of playing Baby while the campaign is active, and you get so-and-so rewards. And I think this is good because at first I thought it was one of those campaigns where they they give you all of the rewards because people are doing it. But no, this is going to be based off of individual actions. So keep that in mind. Season 6 ranked matches becoming beginning of August, so look forward to that. And by look forward, I mean dread the day. I personally am not a fan of ranked matches. I grind Z5 Season 4, but Season 5, I just didn't have it in me, man. So main game adjustments, what you guys are here for most likely. Dragon Balls can now appear from all item boxes and destructible objects. Also adjusted the number of destructible objects in one area of the Waterfront Warzone map. So it's pretty self-explanatory. You get Dragon Balls from opening crates and busting things open. Long distance visibility effects on Dragon Balls you have placed will now only be visible to yourself and allies. So this can be a little confusing the way they word this for some people. So I'll try to read this as best as I can and explain it. Conditions for Dragon Balls to only be visible to the Raider and not the survivor team. So with that orange ping that happens when you put Dragon Balls down that you can kind of see up in the air, if the Raider does this, survivors will not be able to see it. Only the Raider. So the Raider places the Dragon Balls. A Dragon Ball is relocated due to being caught in an area's destruction, which is interesting. Or the time expires after the Raider summons Shenron and doesn't choose a wish. So I'll get this out of the way. If you knock the balls off of a Raider, you and the Raider, like survivors and Raider, will be able to see the orange ping. Okay. Conditions for Dragon Balls to only be visible to the survivor team and not the Raider is the same thing in reverse. A survivor places the Dragon Ball. The time expires after summoning Shenron and not making a wish. Both Raiders and survivors can see an effect for Dragon Balls when the following scenarios occur. When a Raider drops a Dragon Ball from their knockback gauge being reduced to 0. When a survivor drops a Dragon Ball from being defeated. When a Dragon Ball appears from an item box or other type of object. When an Namekian is saved and a Dragon Ball appears. Supply drops will no longer appear when the Raider is at evolution stage 2 or below. Even during the defense phase, once the Raider reaches evolution stage 3, supplies will begin to appear. This is an anti-key rush measure that they put in that is a shadow buff to the absolute dog water that is the level 2 strat of Goku Black. I think this should apply to everybody except Goku Black because people were doing this anyway, so people would get bad supplies. Like, this is just not good for the game, in my opinion. I mean, definite W to Raiders. Raiders do need a buff, and as you guys will continue to see, there's multiple Raider buffs and multiple Survivor nerfs. So, let's see. Raiders heading toward a locked target while attacking with Ki Blast will now accelerate while moving. So if you like to spam Ki Blast when you're locked onto somebody as Raider, normally that slows you down, so you have to stop and just focus on tunneling. But now you'll still get an increased speed when you're using your Ki Blast. So W Raider buff. Increased acceleration when pressing and holding jump while in flight as Raider. Also, while in flight as Raider, you can now press jump twice to drop down instantly. So somebody pointed this out during my showcase of the live stream. So when you drop down as the Raider, you used to just float down ever so gracefully, but now you just literally instantly teleport to the ground. So they gave Raiders instant descent, and they've increased the speed at which they can rise. So this is a super duper W Raider buff when it comes to getting jumped. Now you can avoid getting jumped at all costs. The strat of going straight up into the air is super duper viable now. So that, once again, W Raider buff. Increased fall speed after pressing hide while in flight as Raider. So even if you don't do the instant fall, you still get increased fall speed normally, which is good. But only if you press the crouch button. So let's see. Reduce the number of cooldown drinks that appear from vending machines, and additionally reduce the number of cooldown drinks that appear from item boxes during battles with Broly. So W buff to my main man Broly. The vending machines one, we were talking about this in my Discord, and we were saying that this is most likely going to be a nerf to, like, thanks. If you just purchase a cooldown drink out of a vending machine, you only get one anyway. So the only thing that I can think of and that we could come up with is the fact that it would be going against Thanks, the active skill that we got from the Chilai Survivor skin. So a nerf to Thanks, which I think is crazy. I don't know of many people that were saying that move was busted, so maybe they saw something that we didn't. Let's see here. Cooldown drinks and super cooldown drinks can no longer be used during Dragon Change. A super huge nerf, dude. So if you guys didn't know, if you were to pop your Dragon Change at levels 2 and 3 and then drink either 3 cooldown drinks or a cooldown drink and a super cooldown drink while you were Dragon Changed, once your Dragon Change came back, or I'm sorry, once your Dragon Change ran out, you would immediately have it back. So you would just essentially get 2 dragon changes in one go at the cost of just the little bit of key it cost while you were drinking those cooldown drinks. So no longer can you do that. No longer can you hoard the regular cooldown drinks. This is low-key a boost to the viability of abilities like Quick Sleep and the Capsule Fridge. So keep that in mind as well. But this is definitely... And we're just getting started with this. I did this strat all the time, by the way. So evasions performed by survivors not in Dragon Change no longer grant invincibility. So when you would just dodge out of the way of the raider trying to melee you or hit you with a Ki Blast or use their area of effect attack, like Goku Black's Kamehameha, you could dodge like it's Elden Ring, but no longer can you do that, which is a huge nerf. But that's not all. They also changed so evasions during Dragon Change that turn the user invisible. So whenever you press circle or whatever button it is on the controller you play and you do the vanishing dodge, they made it so evasions during Dragon Change that turn the user invisible for a moment now cannot be used multiple times within a short duration. So now they made it so you cannot spam dodge and actually get that vanish when you hit that rhythm correctly. Also, evasions during Dragon Change that that do not turn the user invisible no longer grant invincibility. So when you would do your backflip, front flip, sidestep, I guess maybe there would be some invincibility there, but now there's no invincibility whatsoever, and they took away your ability to spam the vanish, just vanish spamming. We all know, anybody that plays Breakers above level like 10 knows what that is for real. So I don't know if having unconscious control will mitigate that, so that is something we will definitely have to test. We were talking about doing tests, but I will be doing tests with you guys after we're done with all the marathon streams. You can no longer spam dodge. You can't, they got rid of the Dark Souls aspect of it. And then now we're getting into the actual raider buffs themselves. So with Cell, increase the blast radius of Evolution Stage 2 Cell's super attack, full power energy wave. So they made the beam bigger. Increased the attack radius and added an explosion to Evolution Stage 3 Cell's Ki Blast and slightly reduced their speed. Wait, so does this mean that level 3 Cell Kamehameha is bigger and now there's an AoE at the end of it, but they reduced his speed? Is that what I'm hearing? And then increased damage from Evolution Stage 3 Cell's close ranged attacks. So his melee attacks, they boosted that. I think they did that for all of the raiders actually, so... Raider Frieza, they increased his health, increased the blast radius of Evolution Stage 2 Frieza's super attack full power energy wave, so they just made full power energy wave thicker. Made it more difficult to cancel out Evolution Stage 3 Frieza's Ki Blast. I think they did this for all raiders as well, where that was an issue. Increased the damage from Evolution Stage 3 Frieza's close ranged attacks, and the same for his Stage 4. So melee damage increased. So we're getting shades of Season 1 Majin Buu, because now we're gonna have a Spopovich buff. Increase the speed, attack radius, and range of Evolution Stage 1 Majin Buu's Ki Blast. So Spopovich has buffs on his Ki Blast speed. They're thicker and they go farther. And they increase the blast radius of Evolution Stage 2 Majin Buu's super attack Innocence Cannon. So Fat Buu's Innocence Cannon is thicker. Raider Vegeta, they gave him some huge buffs. Once again, super duper W patch notes for Raider buffs. I'm glad they are doing this. Season 6 as a whole, I feel like would have gone off better had they just given us either a new map, legitimately a few survivor skins, not fucking the same ones, and more than just one one new transfer dropping. So anyway, let's keep going. Raider Vegeta buffs. Increase the amount of evolution energy gained when finishing off a civilian at Evolution Stage 1. So I'm thinking now, to de-incentivize survivor hunting, they're going to give you 3 civs to level up as Cybermen. Shorten the that's just a guess. Shorten the amount of time it takes to automatically switch when evolving due to the effect of the passive skill. You're only wasting your time at this point. So they made it so the Cyberman blows up faster as well. So no longer will it have a countdown. You blow up after 12 minutes. Like once it gets down past 12 minutes. So what is that? 3 minutes in the match. So maybe it'll be like 2 minutes or maybe a minute and a half, and they'll give you better civ spawns. That's a different way to play, I guess. That's not necessarily a buff or a nerf. You do get nap out faster, but you would lose that Cyberman. Add an explosion to Evolution Stage 2's super attack break cannon. So I'm guessing that just is the same, like there's an AoE. And when they're saying this, I'm thinking that once it hits something, it's an AoE akin to Goku Black super attacks. Maybe not necessarily as big, but just that principle. Made it more difficult to cancel out Evolution Stage 3 Vegeta's Ki Blast. Increase the cooldown time, reduction of the Evolution Stage 3 active skill called Nappa. Oh, so when you level up the skill, it reduces the time by more. That's what I'm reading. If I'm reading that correctly, definitely please correct me if I am not. Added an explosion to Vegeta's Gallic Gun, so they gave it that AoE. Increased the damage from Evolution Stage 3 Vegeta's close ranged attacks. Interesting. So we are not done yet. There is a second page of goodness, so let's keep it on going. Let's see. As of June 25th, the latest version for all platforms is as follows. So this update actually has gone into effect. I think it might just be the second page that they're talking about is going into effect. Other changes, Raider models can now be rotated to a profile position on the Raider character screen, so you can look at the costumes better, which is good. I've been trying to do that for a while and you just couldn't. Certain interactions during Dragon Change have been changed, such as saving civilians or controlling the startup system. So what I think this means is another nerf to survivors to where you can't hold a civilian, or I'm sorry, hold the button to rescue a civilian or work on the super time machine and keep your Dragon Change. I think your Dragon Change will actually run out. So we will see. We'll see. We'll definitely try that out. Adjusted the collision detection for the super time machine to more closely reflect its outward appearance. So I'm assuming that they reduced that invincibility barriers around it, like the radius. Items will now always appear when a destructible object that automatically restores itself is destroyed in X area while training in practice mode. Okay, so not really, who cares? The camera has been adjusted so that an opponent is not as easy to lose sight of when landing a hit with a close-ranged attack or vanish move as Raider Vegeta in his Stage 3. Using an active skill such as Charming Pose against Vegeta's Great Ape, it has to be facing him, so it'll automatically face him now instead of you having to manually do that, so that's a good buff. That's definitely a good buff there. When fighting Raider Vegeta on the dangerous ground map, the starting position of the Cyberman has been adjusted, so there were cases, or as there were cases that the Cyberman was planted in the ground. So it was too close to survivors on spawn. Okay, makes sense. And then there's some more bugs that they fixed. They fixed an issue with the rate of descent for falling Super Dragon Balls and supplies drops changes depending on the refresh rate. So I think I've seen this myself, actually. Some people would be able to open it sooner, and it would be like still in the air on your screen, or like it, you know, just stuff like that. It's an issue with the following raiders where firing multiple Ki Blasts at survivors they've locked onto would cause the lock on to remain even if the survivor moved far enough for the lock on to be canceled. So this affected a lot of raiders, actually. So I've never played Cell, Frieza, or Majin Buu. And my Ginyu's only a level 50, so I didn't play them much. Fixed an issue where the following raiders would no longer send survivors flying if they hit them with certain super attacks that cause the survivor's limit gauge to fall to 0 and their Dragon Change to become undone. And that is Raider, Frieza, Majin Buu, and Vegeta, and these are the attacks. Fixed an issue with the following raiders where the gauge on the UI would not reach maximum at the correct time after gaining evolution energy from delivering a finishing blow, and that would affect these guys here. Fixed an issue with the homing blast from the super attack from the following raiders. When activated from a certain distance, the blast would fly towards the reticle and not the survivor locked onto, regardless of whether or not the survivor was locked onto at the time of the attack was activated. Okay, so I definitely have experienced this with Vegeta, and then Purple Comet Crash here as well. Okay. Fixed an issue with Raider Cell Evolution Stage 1 where an attack could not be executed while finishing a wall climb action. Okay, interesting. Fixed an issue with Raider. Okay, so this is still him as well. Where landing an attack head on against a Dragon Chain survivor who was on the ground would not cause them to be sent flying. Oh, so you were supposed to have that melee knockback no matter what. Okay. Fixed the issue where hitting a survivor as Raider Majin Buu, so Fat Majin Buu, with only the blast from the Innocence Cannon super attack would not cause them to be sent flying. Nice. So there's more stun added to these attacks. Fixed an issue where when landing an attack from the front with Ki Blast or super attack against Raider Vegeta Evolution Stage 4, the attack would sometimes reach his tail and deal damage. So a huge buff to Vegeta there. They made him beefier, so it's harder to damage him, but it's easier to land the stuns. Fixed an issue where players could not attack as Raider Vegeta at Evolution Stage 1 when pressing the attack button from a certain distance. Never experienced that. Fixed an issue with Raider Vegeta where during the animation when changing from Evolution Stage 1, so from going to Cyberman to Nappa, or from Evolutions, so from Nappa to Vegeta, the distance to send survivors flying was shorter compared to other Raiders. Okay. And then Grade 8 Vegeta, they fixed something where during a close range attack would not hit survivor's position to the Raiders' rear sides. Okay, interesting. Fixed an issue where when using Kaioken Assault super attack against Grade 8 Vegeta, final stage of the attack executed using instant transmission would not hit his tail. Fixed an issue where Ginyu Force levels 2 through 4 was hit with Symphonic Destruction. From above, the attack from Guldo caused by the teamwork passive skill would not hit the survivor, so they made it so to where Guldo will still hit him. Fix an issue where level 2 Broly's Planet Crusher from certain spots on Highland River map caused Broly to move outside of the map. I don't know if I've experienced that. I can't remember. Fix an issue where Broly level 3, after hitting a survivor with consecutive Ki Blasts launched by repeatedly pressing the corresponding button, hitting them with regular Ki Blast would no longer cause damage. Interesting. Fix an issue with Raider Zamasu and Goku Black, where if the buff from Divinity Unleashed wore off while using Blades of Judgment, any blades launched after it wore off would still have the buff. Okay. Fix an issue where the attack, evade, jump, and super attack inputs would not work for a few seconds while stationary as Raider Zamasu and Goku Black at level 4 after the animation of him going corrupted. While survivors flinching from a Raider's active skills such as Solar Flare or due to the barrier being destroyed, the flinching effect could be cancelled by interacting with an interactable object that was nearby, so by pressing the triangle. Okay. Another issue where it was possible to use radar type items while flinching was also fixed. Interesting. Fix an issue where if the Raiders sent multiple survivors flying back and they hit each other, the survivors would collide and stop being blown back. Fix an issue where if a survivor was sent crashing to the ground at a certain angle by a Raider's vanish move, the survivor would not recover from the impact and would instead remain laying face down, so buff there. There's an error while Type B avatars or avatars with certain character skins equipped, like so girl avatars, are in a state of panic due to an area being destroyed. The effect from landing would not display after falling from a high location. Okay. Changed all shapeshift skills excluding camouflage by adjusting the behavior of the barrier upon canceling the skill via either entering Dragon Change or receiving an attack in order to bring those skills in line with shapeshift camouflage. So they make all the shapeshift abilities work like camouflage now. Fix an issue where Dragon Change could not be used while using the following survivor skills. So W buff there. Oh, listen buff. Love to see it. I don't think I've ever seen anybody use hovering device. Okay. While a defense active skill where long distance attacks could still be stopped even after the stance ended. An issue where a Raider is bound by the active skill Shapeshift Hand, and if that gets destroyed, it would still take some time before the Raider was freed. Fix an issue where Shapeshift Bat, where any actions besides pressing the active skill button again, interact, close range attack during Dragon Change, etc., would not end the transformation. Okay. An issue where Survivor active skill Galactic Patrol Ship, where it would be possible to leave this ship even while undergoing the effects from Guldo's time freeze. Interesting. So you would just be able to get out of time freeze for free. And then another galactic ship where the ship would not be destroyed during an area's destruction or sent flying when coming near a raider during the evolution animation. Okay. An issue where during the animation slide, it was not possible to use radars or cancel out of them. An issue where, so W slide buff, where young talent, where the effect would still activate even during an area's destruction or a raider's evolution animation. Oh, so we missed a super crazy tech with young talent being able to just stay in the raider's face during an evolution or area destruction. We missed crazy tech there. That's insane. I don't know if anybody ever saw tech with that. If you did, definitely let me know. But we L Breakers community for not finding that. Fix an issue with battle instincts where the effects from the skill would not activate if the player used power unleash without their dragon change level changing. Battle instincts would be active and remain active when used with the active skill power unleash, even if the conditions to activate the effects of battle instincts had not been met. Change the survivor passive skill battle instincts. So they did a lot to this, so that if the conditions for that skill's effect to remain active are met when the active skill power unleash finishes, and the effects of the activation before Power Unleash was used have yet to expire, the effect of Battle Instincts will reactivate. So they just fixed the way Battle Instincts works with Power Unleash and it works in general. Fix an issue with Spirit Ball that it'll track raiders where the attack would still track them if they use instant transmission due to area destruction. I've never seen that. An issue where Raider could be hit by a survivor's close range attack or a certain close range super attacks while being sent flying back by another survivor's use of gigantic charge. Fix an issue where the survivor's costume bottom item, police uniform pants, that allowed the following costume items to be equipped simultaneously. So nerf to the Fed bottoms. When equipped with certain costume top items such as hoodie, which hide the pistols and other items around the waist, the above costume backpack items may still be equipped. Okay, so that was a lot of information, a lot of reading, a lot of jargon I threw at you guys. Definitely very interesting what they're doing for this season. I will be trying to do the marathon stream starting tomorrow. Make sure you guys join the Discord, link in the description. Join the channel as well. Shout out to all our channel members. Love to see the militia members. Everybody join the militia. Other than that, yeah, it's season 6. We are in for a mixed bag. I think what will save it is once we get the new transfers for, I think, middle of July. So, yeah, definitely stay tuned for that. Like I said, marathon streams coming soon. I don't know if I'll be uploading videos during that time, but you will definitely see me online. It's been real. It's your boy, Lee, the Warlord, and I'm out of here. Peace.